going. You're going to the
Smart.
world. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the World Financial Group Jim Sullivan Classic from Thistle St. Andrews Curling Club in St. John, New Brunswick. My name is Keith Rains, and I'm joined in the gondola with Mr. Bill Gates.
Hi, Keith. How are you this afternoon?
Glad you could fly in on your private jet from the
yeah.
West Coast to be with us.
Always happy to be at Thistle.
And in this afternoon's draw, who do we have, Bill?
All right, this afternoon we have a team. Kendall Thompson from Nova Scotia from the Mayflower and Scott Jones from Moncton.
And Jones has a record of 2-1, and they have the Red Stones. And Kendall is 1-2, and he had a battle this morning against his brother.
Well, the Battle of the Brothers this morning.
The Battle of the Brothers, and Stewart prevailed.
Stewart prevailed. Stewart, the older brother or the younger brother?
I'm not sure on that one.
So by virtue of the draw of the button, Team Jones has last shot for this opening end.
And why don't you go through the members of the teams for
Sure.
for our viewers?
All right, Team Thompson, we got Kendall Thompson throwing skip rocks, Bryce Everts throwing mate, Jamie Danbrock throwing second, and Jared Brown is the lead. And on Team Jones, where'd they go? We got Scott Jones as the skip, Jamie Brennan is the mate, Brian King is the second, and Robert Daly is the lead.
And in the men's side here, we have 18 men's teams, and 8 will go on to Championship Sunday.
That's right.
And on the women's side, we have 10 women's teams in this year's event, and 6 of them will proceed to quarters, semis, and finals tomorrow. So, as they say in golf, this is moving day.
This is definitely moving day. Right now, 2 losses is about all you can afford on the men's side in order to make the playoff round.
And in this afternoon's draw, we have 6 sheets in action, and Bill will give you folks the updates on those scores probably every couple of ends.
Sure.
To keep you informed. I know we have the other Stewart brother is actually right next to us here on sheet 7, so if the Thompson family is listening in down to Nova Scotia, they'll definitely keep you up to date on what is happening in that match as they take on. Now, do you notice the men here? They haven't put their names up on the board yet. There's 2 teams. Okay, there's 3 teams that haven't done that. Demerit marks right there.
Demerit marks. Well, we'll have to give them a stern talking to after this draw's over.
And I said to Bill, I said the 11:30 draw was the best draw. We had 8 sheets going, 5 women's and 3 men, and that was the best draw of teams posting their scores at the end of each end, so we could let you guys know what is happening. Now we'll see. This is not starting off too good for a couple of the sheets.
They're more concerned about their game.
Yeah.
I think they're all into the games.
We'll see how long it takes. Oh, I think we have one of the volunteers is actually putting the names up. There's going to be a good match on the other side of us too. 5 Odishaw and Grattan going at it.
That is 2 undefeated teams, so that is a big game.
It's a nice shot there. Take it out on the button.
Jones has a couple corner guards up and last rock, which is sort of the position he wants. So a little hit and flop on this under the corners, what he's looking for.
We're saying this is a great. The women's Scotties is going to be January 3rd this year. up in Moncton. So this is definitely an important tournament for them. I was talking to the MLA team, and they are playing in one other tournament, like a seeding tournament down in St. Andrews. And I guess the big thing for them is it's going to be 10 ends, because
Right.
this here, this is 8 here. If you're tuning in for the first time, we'll just play 8 ends, and if it is tied at the end of 8, then we'll play an extra end. But it is a different mindset.
You don't
Playing
have as much time to
8
recoup.
and,
If
8
you
and 10.
give up, you get behind, you don't have as much time
Yeah.
to claw your way back. And that's the big difference between a 10-end game and an 8-end game.
And the physical aspect of it too is, 2 more ends, especially for a little bit more sweeping for those front ends.
Having a hard time getting the rock under the cover here. Jones is going to give it another shot and see if he can get a hit and roll under the corners.
The men's championship, the Tankard, will be taking place in February in the Miramichi this year.
Yeah, that's right.
And they have a beautiful facility up there.
Yeah, it's going to be one of the newest curling clubs in the province, if not the newest.
I had an opportunity to do the ladies, the Scotties were up there last year during the ice storm.
That's right. I watched a bit of that.
Wow.
I watched you.
Well, we got up there, and it was an interesting drive up. I went up the next day, like when the storm had hit the day before there, and the next day wasn't a lot of traffic on the road.
Oh, but
but there was some like down power lines, and obviously the trees, and so I managed to get up there all right, and I went to the rink, and they had no power, and they were deciding what to do, because now they're getting concerned about ice.
that's right. You got to be really concerned about keeping your ice.
Because we were supposed to have a draw that night. So what they did is they did get the power back, so they started everything like the next day. And we just got going, and the lights flickered. It just before, like, and we go, oh, but everything worked out all right.
On the edge of their seat.
Well, there was talk they were going to move it to Moncton, but Moncton was no better off. Moncton was in
a lot of trouble too.
a lot of trouble too. So anyway, the ladies were able to get in, but it is a really nice facility for hosting. So the men will be up there, and then the next big event in the province will be the U18 Nationals, which will be down in St. Andrews, April 9th to 14th. So there's
That's the national, so that'll be exciting.
yeah. And I'm really, New Brunswick's very, very fortunate, because last year, I guess this year, 2017, was the first year for our U18 championship, which is
in Moncton, right?
had in Moncton. So when I first heard about the U18s being in St. Andrews, I was a little surprised that it wouldn't be out west or in Ontario or somewhere first, but maybe somebody didn't put their hands up. So
Well, it's brand new spiel, so brand new championship. So
Shaw, he's looking for a little hit and roll, maybe.
big roll here.
Yeah.
He's gonna get it. Let's put it back on the center line again.
And this weekend in Moncton is the U21 provincial championships are happening up there. So it's a busy weekend in the curling world. Yeah. It's the first shot for Jones.
Yeah.
He's got to get a roll in.
Yeah, he might roll a little too
Too
far,
much.
though.
Yeah. And we get a shot of our overhead. And no, that's outside the ring.
He's off.
He's off.
Having a close look at it.
Now, maybe our camera's not directly over the
Over.
button, but
Well, they're not playing a hit, so that would tell me that it's not on.
I see white.
Yeah. Team Thompson's looking for a draw. Looking like they're going to draw around the guards.
Good. Cool. And yeah.
Actually, all the sheets are very clean. Everybody's playing
The
quite
center
wide
was
open.
actually really good.
Yeah,
First
we
end.
don't have a clutter of rocks.
No, they'll want to get themselves just accustomed to the ice. And they'll probably start, junking it up. A lot of guards.
You guys still right here? Just about 3 games.
This rock looks a little light. I don't know if these guys are going to be able to drag that to the rings.
Look at that. They're not making them even earn it to try to get a single. They'll just throw this through and
Yep.
keep the hammer.
Keep last rock.
Yep. That's a disappointing for Thompson. I know he wanted to get it in, at least force him to.
Force him to make a good
Yeah.
shot. That's right. Or force him to take a point, more
Yeah.
importantly.
Yes.
Get that hammer back in the even ends. That's typically
Well,
what you wanna
the
try
Steve
and-
Thompson rule.
Oh, it's the Steve Thompson rule now, is it?
Well, when you have hammer, score 2, and when you don't, give
Yeah.
up 1.
That math works very
That's-
good if you
yeah.
extend it out to the end of the game. So.
Well, he made a book famous just from that.
He did.
Oh yeah. Haven't you heard he's having a book signing downstairs
No,
later
I
on
didn't.
today? Yeah. Winning curling. Underline. There you go.
All right, so there it is. It's a blank for the first end. Jones will retain the hammer in a second.
Bill, we have an honored guest up here in the gondola. The Riverboat Classic captain for next year.
Right, and the 2016 champion, I think.
And the 2016 champ, Kevin Badman. Wow, what an honor. Sign of a good leader is a person who makes other leaders, and that's what Kevin's doing this weekend.
Yeah.
He was doing- and I understand that we do have some staff members, volunteers who have sacrificed themselves to go to Ottawa this week to watch the Roar of the Rings,
That's
just in
right.
case they can pick up any nuggets to bring back here to help out with the events that you guys host.
Well, I hope they pick something up. I know they're going to have fun up there. And as we said, they're going to see some really good curling. So that starts this afternoon too. Probably right about now, I think. Actually.
Yeah, let's see. Well, 10 to 3 our time would be 10 to 2 up there. So the boys are off. Now, would that be at where the Senators play, or are they?
I think so. I think it is. I think that's where it is. I'm not 100% sure of that, but I think it's the Canadian Tire Center. Is that where the Senators
Okay,
play?
yeah, it's a.
I think that's.
They keep changing the names.
Oh, I know.
Right?
It's a sponsors thing, right? So. So they're still playing a very conservative game in our game here.
Yeah.
Thompson put the first one in the ring, so they want to keep it simple. Instead of, you want to mix it up, typically you put a guard up. And maybe they're just trying to get the speed down because they were trying to get a corner guard here and that slipped a little too far onto the rings.
Here's some other, from a Nationals perspective, some other events coming up on the 2018 calendar for curling. The World Financial Group Continental Cup will be January 11th to 14th in London, Ontario. The New Holland Canadian Juniors, January 13th to 21st in Shawinigan, Quebec. Scotties Tournament of Hearts, January 27th in Picticton, BC. Tim Hortons Briar, March 3rd, starting in Regina, Saskatchewan. Ford World Curling Women's Championship, March 17th in North Bay, Ontario. So it gives you a little up to date on what's happening in the curling world. If you want to plan your vacations.
And a trip away, yep.
Yeah. Interesting. Just by having a couple of sheets with no action on it, like is that all right? It's like a little quieter out there. Like the 11:30 draw today, it was.
Very loud.
It was. There was.
A lot of excitement.
I think it got a little louder, you know, as you can appreciate as the games wore on. Right. The shots get a little bit more.
More critical, right?
Yeah. But earlier on, like you said, it's a lot of clean houses here. I wish my house was this clean.
That's a good throw. He kicked that rock out from behind the guard. And Team Thompson's just going to try and put a second one in there and keep two in the rings and try and force Team Jones to a single.
Yeah, this is a big game for Thompson. They don't want to get their third loss here because they're sitting at 1-2 and Jones is 2-1. But like you said, it's going to be tough. 3 losses.
3 losses. They
Could be
tell
on the
me
outside.
that, yeah, you're going to be on the outside. That's, I think, 2 losses, and you got to hope for 2 losses put you into the tiebreaker, and that's your draw of the button results. So not all the teams with 2 losses will actually make it to Sunday. So Brian King's trying to get a little, hit this one on the top of the rings and roll him behind his corner guard. He's got a pretty good shot going
Nice
here.
shot.
I'd like to roll a little bit further, but still a good shot.
Priority 1. Got rid
Priority
of,
win, make it go away.
yeah, make it go away. So we will have 2 more draws yet to come today. We have another draw at 5:30 this evening, and then at 9 o'clock. Whew, 9
A
o'clock.
lot of curling.
I'm thinking 9 o'clock.
It's a long day for you,
It's
Keith.
a long- Oh dear. Yeah, that's the last round that we'll have a clear picture on who needs to do what come that 9 o'clock draw.
There'll be some big games tonight during that draw.
Just wonder how many sheets we have going this 9 o'clock. Well, we have let's see, six in play tonight. Yeah, the women will have their last round today at 5:30. So 6 teams from the women will go on, and 8, as we said earlier, from the men. Out of 18 will move forward to Championship Sunday. And we have teams from all over the Maritimes here. We have one team from Newfoundland. And Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island are well represented here with on the women's and men's side. Do we have? Let me take that back. Do we have any men's teams from PEI?
I don't think there's a men's team.
No,
from
the
PEI.
women.
There's a women's team
I
for
know.
sure.
Robin McPhee is from the island. What's going on with those men over there?
Well, there's lots of good men's team in
Wow.
PEI, I'll tell you that. And they may have something else going on at the
Yeah.
same time. There may be
Hard to believe.
another cash bill going
Yes,
on.
yes. And what makes this show attractive? I mean, obviously it's for a great cause. This is the 6th year for Sullivan, but also it's a point.
On the World Curling Tour, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a sanctioned event, the World Curling Tour. And part of it's travel for these teams. They do a lot of traveling.
Yeah.
Traveling's expensive. It takes a lot of time. So
And it's fortunate that we've had great weather here. If you're tuning in from other parts of the country, we've had a great summer and fall here in the Maritimes, and we've been in this part of the province. Anyhow, we've been fortunate enough to not have that white stuff as of yet.
yeah, it's still fall out. It's still above
Yeah.
freezing outside. So.
And it's supposed to get mild again next week. Again, I'm looking at 9 degrees.
Oh, really? I didn't look ahead.
Yeah.
That's-
Wednesday, Thursday. It's some places going to be double digits down in Nova Scotia, New Glasgow, and some of the other spots are looking at 11, 12 degrees.
They're keeping their golf clubs out.
Yeah, that's right. I always got a kick. I knew a guy that grew up in Yarmouth, and they were always out early golfing there before anybody else because it was always a little warmer down on the south shore. They were always commenting that they were on the course before anybody else.
Yeah.
Getting those warm breeze from the Gulf Stream. So Jones still has the hammer here, and we're in the second end.
Yeah, he's got a center guard and a couple corner guards to hide behind. But, excuse me, he indicated I think he's going to try rolling behind the corner guards. Just lining up where they want that rock to go.
So did you, were you here yesterday for some of the action, Bill?
No, I just watched you on
Okay.
my laptop, actually.
How did it sound?
Sound was good. You guys did a good job.
Have a lot of banter going on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we have some. Well, I mean, God, that's one thing I love about Thistle here is you've got a great group of volunteers and people willing to help out when called upon. So it's never, geez, Wade Blanchard, former world senior champion, not a bad guy to have in the booth.
No,
to give
Wade's got a
give his insights.
long,
You go from Blanchard to Thompson.
yeah, just like that.
Another angle of viewership there. But yeah, it's great to have, and I know over the next day and a half.
Yeah, you'll have some other good commentators that have a lot of experience in maybe the national stage, right?
Well, it just makes it so nice for the folks viewing in to get that different perspective and looking, because a lot of times you get people tuning in. The reason they're tuning in because their family or friends are curling. Maybe they're not as active curling as others, but they want to see how they're making out and cheering on. So if we can give some insight on what is they're trying to do on the ice, give them a little bit better perspective. And here we come. Here's the last shot for Thompson.
Scott Jones made a nice hit and got half under that guard, so Kendall looks like he's just going to try and outdraw him. a stop in time. Yeah, that's a good shot.
Yeah.
That's a good shot. If Scott can get to that to tap it back a bit so he can score his 2.
He's going to give it Omen's effort.
Tapped like he was just going to do a cold draw.
Here's the last shot of the second end. Jones is trying to get his deuce.
Oh, they're on it early. He's tight to the guard. Gonna get it by.
Yep. Oh, no, it's coming.
Oh.
Look at that. That just kept moving there.
So that's a steal of 1 for the Thompson team.
Yeah. Oh, got a little tap. It's always good when you get a tap from your sweepers there, Thompson. You
Yeah.
get-
Oh, that's.
It's a good sign. Just look. I don't know if he was inside the broom from the get-go.
Well, they were sweeping early, so I
yeah.
don't know if it was just a little too tight ice.
If you get a chance, folks, visit bellline.ca/TV1 for the community channel schedule. TV1 is available to Vibe customers in Atlantic Canada on Channel 1. Vibe TV1, powered by Bell Alliance. Keith Rains, Bill Gates here in the gondola of the Thistle St. Andrews Curling Club, and Bill is peering out over the other games, and he's going to give us an update, if he can, on the status of some of these other games, if they've been posting their scores, Bill.
Yeah, well,
that is the challenge here.
Seems to be a lot of blank ends for the first end across the board now. The Stevens Blanchard game, Stevens blanked the first end, and they're still playing the second. There's one more rock to come, and it looks like Blanchard's sitting 1 frozen on the Stevens rock in the 4-foot, so they still have 1 rock to go. The other Thompson Skanes game, they blanked the first end and they blanked the second end, so Thompson retained the hammer into the third end. Grattan and Ottershaw game. Ottershaw took 1 in the first, and they're still throwing rocks. They have 5 rocks left to go to finish off the second end.
Robert Shaw Mallet is 1-0 Robert Shaw. You got a few rocks to go here in their second end, and then McDougall
and Dacey, they blanked. Dacey blanked the first end. Looks like they're attempting to blank the second end, and they didn't. So that's 1 point for Dacey, I think.
And that gives you the quick, up-to-date scoring. This scoring update has been brought to you by the Thistle St. Andrews Curling Club and Bill Gates. Speaking of that, I'd like to give a little shout-out to our other sponsors. Is obviously the Thistle St. Andrews Curling Club, the World Financial Group, Molson Coors, and the Canadian Mental Health Association for their support of this 6th annual Jim Sullivan Classic. It's like the first, I always think of this as like, okay, Christmas is officially here now. Because you come inside, you got the ice, and of course we're up here on the second level at Thistle St. Andrews, and we're in the banquet room, and they got the Christmas tree up, and the garland is up, and the decoration, so it gives that the festive.
Yeah, the Christmas
feel.
parties are starting.
Yeah, I know. There's only so many weekends. We get the calendar all done. Like we're supposed to be at Monday. Get things going Monday. Next week is sort of crazy. It's like Monday night, Wednesday night, Friday night, Saturday night. And I'm hoping we're broadcasting. I think we're going to be broadcasting the Volleyball New Brunswick H Class Championships the 15th to 17th in Moncton. I haven't got the work schedule yet. It's almost good if I'm doing that because then I'm away from the social aspect.
All the commitments.
All the commitments,
Yeah.
right? So I haven't got but then the next weekend there's a few gatherings,
Yep.
as we say. Any plans for New Year's yet?
I think we're going to go to a friend of mine. He's going to have people over.
Oh, I tell you, one year we had, which was great, was we just did a potluck on friends you don't get a chance to spend a lot of
Right.
time with sometimes because everyone's busy.
Yep.
So we had about 6, 7 couples, and I said, listen, why don't you come on over and let's just do a potluck. Sit around and find out what you've been up to.
Exactly.
Have a nice bite to eat. I think we looked after the main course. Someone brought apps. Someone else brought desserts, and it was a great evening because it's so hectic.
Well, this time of year is
Yeah.
so hectic, is right.
Well, speaking of Graham Stillwell, segue, because Graham's very involved here with the banquet facility
Yep.
here.
He's the caterer.
He's a caterer. He does a great work, great
Him and
food.
Rebecca. Yep.
Well, what we're doing this year for the first time is because my mom and dad had passed away, and my wife's mother has passed away, so it's just her dad. So we're put our order in at Gumper at Jeremiah's for Christmas dinner.
Oh, very good.
So they package it up. You can go 2, 4, and 8, and we get the 4.
Yeah.
Always have extra. So they have it all. Everything's cooked. You have your turkey, you have your potatoes, you have your gravy, your vegetables, your dressing, your cranberries, I guess. And they have it all done for you. And you just go pick it up Christmas Eve.
Oh, that's very good.
That's
really
I'm
good.
liking it. I'm liking it a lot here. And so all we have to do after we go to church on Christmas Day, we just come back and put it in the oven for 350 for, I don't know,
Just warm it
15
up,
minutes,
right?
warm
Yep.
it up. Done.
Done.
And the price is very good too.
Well, that's good.
So yeah, so it was, because I always think about it afterwards, because but this year, because they did the Thanksgiving feast,
Right.
and I go, okay, Christmas, I'm on this, and
You got your order in early?
I got my order in. So here we are. We got some action in our sheet here. They're plugging up that hole.
Yeah, Brian's rock just curled just a bit too far, but it's still they're still sitting half under cover. And the port's getting smaller. The hole to get through is much smaller. So just an update, Malay scored 1 in the second end to tie a rubber show.
Trying to get it through there. Looking good.
That's a
Nice
very
shot.
Nice shot. Potted on the back,
Yeah.
but I don't think you could do much
No.
else.
I'm just waiting to see how long it's going to take them for someone to put the score up from the last end. Because who was that? Oh, Wade Blanchard. I was talking to Wade yesterday. And Wade, one thing Greg Hanlon does very well is post the score. And he said, especially when we score.
Yeah.
He's very efficient getting that score up there.
Let everybody know we're on the board.
We're on the board. Other teams, not so, because supposedly, is it the mate's
That's
responsibility?
right. It's the mate's responsibility.
Okay. So there'll be some demerit marks going on here. Now, so if your team scored, then you're the mate on the team that scored is supposed to post.
That's right. You post your own score. Yep.
Okay, Thompson, crew. Get on that. Here's another good shot coming through.
Oh,
Yes.
he's gonna get a little roll.
Nice. And a roll.
Just poked out the other side.
Yeah.
A little too much roll.
You're tough.
Wow.
You're tough.
Well, these are still difficult shots. And Jones has 3 rocks in the ring, so they're looking at multiple point end here.
That was Jamie Brandon with that nice shot for Team Jones. And we're gonna try to get that in there. It's turning. Is it gonna? They're trying to hold it there. Hold it there. It's big,
pretty
curling
hard.
hard.
He's on the guard.
Yeah. And we've seen that quite a bit. There's a fine line. So if you throw it a little too hard, there's no curl.
That's right.
And if
Very
you lead
weight-
off, then it's biting in.
Very weight sensitive on the curl.
Now, did you play here the other night when they grind the rocks up a bit? Have you?
No, I didn't play this week.
Spencer McWhinney, speaking, because Spencer's playing here this weekend.
Right.
Spencer's from Thistle, and so he came up here to warm up, do some stretching and stuff before his match, and he goes, well, so much for home ice advantage. He goes, they flood the ice, now what's the correct terminology?
Texture.
Textured the rocks. And he said, geez, we go and play. Holy lifting there. They're
Completely
curling like
different. Yeah. Oh, that's good curl.
Yeah.
I was talking to a few people before this draw, and a few of the participants, and they were telling me that the ice was very good. Very good swing, good speed. And that's what they want. You want ice that curls, as opposed to very straight ice.
Yeah.
And that's the reason they texture the rocks. You get more curl out of the rocks.
There's a nice shot.
That's a very nice shot.
Well, there's lots of reds in there.
Yeah, Team Thompson's in a little bit of
Four.
trouble here. They don't have last rock either.
Jones is sitting 4 currently.
So looking like he's going to play a hit on this one on the 4-foot, try rolling behind the other rocks on the other side of the rings. Could be his only get out of jail card.
So here is the first skip stone.
He's got to curl a little more. They're trying to get this thing to curl, but he's going to get a nose hit. So.
Try to get in there behind some cover, but not to be. But priority 1, he did get rid of one of the red. Now, how long his will be around?
Yeah,
Time will
Scott will be
tell.
going after this, but the question is, where does he want a shooter to go? He's probably going to play the same shot Team Thompson tried, get the roll under. Yeah, Jamie just indicated that, so they want to get a little roll in under the corner guards.
Jones's first shot here. I believe it's the third end.
It is the third end. Oh yeah, no
We
score.
wouldn't tell, can't tell by the score sheet at the back because the boys haven't put any of them up, but we're keeping track. Here's a shot. It's going to be a direct hit again.
Yeah.
A little tiny roll. So now here's an opportunity for Thompson to.
Yeah, he's looking to see if he's got a double on this shot. No, I guess not. So he's going to play. It's a very important shot. He could give up a pile of points here if he doesn't execute well.
Now, are you Skip on your team?
I skip my team on Thursday night, and I play lead on my team on
Wow.
Tuesday nights.
Now, who's on your team Tuesday nights?
Gary Mitchell, Andrew
Okay.
Buckle,
Oof.
and Dave McCullum.
Wow. Okay.
So we played together last year.
Bunch of ringers, I'm thinking there.
Old timers, eh?
They're the ones you got to watch out for.
We have a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, here's the final shot for Thompson, and like I said, Jones has the hammer, and they're sitting. I think they're sitting 4. Yep. Yeah, they're still counting 4. So this is a huge shot here at this juncture of the game for the Thompson rig.
Yeah, Kendall needs a roll big time here. It's just playing soft weights. So
Not a
it's
lot of
not
brushing
curling.
here, no.
It's
But he's
coming
on the
now.
right
Oh, he's
side.
gonna
Yeah,
put
there it
full.
is.
Oh, he's
Nice shot.
He's got a very nice shot.
Yeah. And does he have shot? He's shot there now.
Is he shot too?
Yes. Yep. Big shot.
Yeah, so Scott's looking at a double.
Oh,
Double on the yellows would be for.
Geez, they put the ends up there
Yeah.
finally, Bill. You know, now the Joneses are looking and saying, what can we do here? They're looking for a little angle.
Well, now they're looking at the in off of their own.
Yeah.
That looks like that's what they're playing. The
You
problem
can
was-
do that when you're sitting.
Yeah. Oh, it's easy from here. Yeah.
But when you have all that red in there, if you miss it, you give up 1.
Right.
Right. And you regain hammer.
And they had there's a double on the yellows there, but I think hitting the one off the 4-foot is going to direct back into the reds.
Yeah.
So I don't think he can get the yellow out with a double. So that's why he's playing the in off. But this would be a huge score if he actually makes this shot. It's very difficult.
Last shot here of the third end. And I think he missed it.
Yeah.
So a steal of 1 for Thompson.
Another steal.
Another steal.
That's
He's a
right.
thief. That was a big shot by him. That was the shot of the game
Yeah.
so far.
Yeah,
Got the hit and an excellent roll. And just at the end, it's not really.
They come up, and that was a soft weight we talked about.
Yeah.
Throwing them soft to get the added curl.
Join Vibe TV1 Scott Squires as he chats with Sir Lunny on CTV Sideline Scoop each Monday at 8:40 a.m. Atlantic, 9:10 a.m. Newfoundland. Get up to date on Bellline Vibe TV1's weekly AUS sports coverage. That's Sideline Scoop, Mondays on CTV Morning Live Atlantic. Keith Rains along with Bill Gates here from the Thistle St. Andrews Curling Club in St. John, New Brunswick for the 6th annual Jim Sullivan Classic Bondsfield with 28 teams. And I really don't think we can handle any more than 28 to have them out of here by supper time on Sunday.
No, it's a pretty packed house.
So we have 18 men's, 10 women's teams. Obviously, this is moving day here because the playoffs start tomorrow morning at 8:30. 6 women's teams will go on and 8 men's teams. And the teams that we're watching now, Jones has a record of 2-1 from they're from Moncton, New Brunswick.
That's right.
And the Thompson team up from Nova Scotia, they're at 1-2. So they need to.
This is must win.
A must win for them. They can't afford to have a third loss, and they're doing well so far. They've stole singles in the both the second and third ends. And now if they could hold Jones to a single here, and they get the hammer.
Well, that's a big momentum boost
Yeah.
after that third end where Thompson was in trouble the whole way.
Oh, gee, yeah.
Looking
Jones
at
is sitting
giving up
4. Yeah.
multiple points. And to come away with a steal, that's a big turning point.
So now, from a curling perspective, how long does your season go to? Like you say, you play on Tuesday nights, Thursday nights. So how does it go to the end of March, 1st of April?
Yeah, that's right. End of March, 1st April.
Okay.
That's usually when it's the last closing spiel is
Yeah.
1st of April. And by then the weather's getting nice. People want to be outdoors.
Well, you start doing the outside activities.
Yeah.
If you got cottages, you're getting them ready for the summer, or if you get your boat, you're trying to get that seaworthy. Or on the other end, if you're maybe just shining up the golf clubs.
Yeah. Hoping.
Open. Yeah.
Hoping to get out.
Yeah.
It's quite a battle going on in sheet 5 with Grattan and Ottershaw.
Yeah, that's
That's 2 undefeated teams, so that's a big game.
we'll have our roving reporters on that,
Right.
keeping us updated on.
Actually, I think if you would, whoever wins that game probably will get into the playoff on Sunday, virtue of a 4-0 record. Worse, they'll finish as 4-1.
Yeah. Yeah, 4-1 should get you in.
Yeah, just though.
Yeah.
It's,
Wow, really?
yeah, because there's going to be. They tell me that with 2 losses, not everybody with 2 losses gets in.
Yeah, you have James Grattan with they're 3-0. Odershaw's 3-0. Stuart Thompson's 3-0. And then everybody else is like Jamie Murphy's 2-1. That's a good rink. Paul Dexter's 2-1. Mayu's 2-1. Talon's 2-1. Wow. Yeah, so the only other 3-0 team is Stuart Thompson that I'm seeing after Odershaw and Grattan currently.
And the Stuart Thompson team's in a nail biter against Skanes. That's
Our Newfoundland representative.
that's right. No score in that game. They're playing the third end. A lot of rocks in playing that game. That end right now. So back in our game, the Thompson team's keeping it pretty clean now. They got their 2-point lead. So they want to force Jones to single and get the hammer and have a 1-point lead with the hammer. They won't be happy with that shot. That's up to Red Rock in the rings.
This is the cleanest
Yeah,
house. Isn't it funny how, like, once one team gets leaked, okay, here's what we're doing.
yeah, we're going to make it
Let's
simple now.
keep it as clean
Yeah.
as possible out there.
Well, and that's what they do. They want to make it simple.
Got to execute the shots. There's a nice shot.
That's a nice double.
Beautiful. Yeah.
So they have Jamie trying to play a freeze here to see if they can generate their deuce that way.
Not quite.
Not quite.
In the general vicinity.
Yeah, it's still not a simple shot for Kendall now. He's got to be careful where he hits this rock. Doesn't want to drive it back onto his own, that's for sure. Mission accomplished. Scott's probably going to try the freeze. No, he's going to play a hit this time. Looks like he's looking for a blank end. So this is a pretty wide open net in our game. Some of the other sheets are quite crowded, but in the rings.
So obviously he wants to try to hit and stay to force a shot.
That's right. Hope that
a miss,
miss.
Steal another one.
Well, or that Scott hits it on the nose and doesn't roll out.
Yes.
And forces him to the one.
Oh, that is curling. Oh, he gets a piece of
Just
it.
enough.
Yeah, well, that was a lot of good sweep in there just to keep that one.
Sweeper save that one for
Yeah.
sure.
So now he'll just throw this through the house. This is one of the shots I have down.
Yeah, you're good
Pat,
at this one?
I'm
Yeah,
good.
this-
Well, it's auto. Just
Yeah, they
give me
don't-
lots of ice.
They don't count these to your percentages, though, so. So the Jones team will regroup and try and score multiple points in the fifth end.
There. So what is happening around the?
Well, on the other games, we have Stevens as a 2-point lead, 2-0 over the Zach Blanchard rink, and they're playing the fourth end right now. They have a lot of rocks in play, so
Yeah.
they're junking it up pretty good. The Skanes Thompson game is 1-0 for Skanes, and they're playing the fourth end right now. The Grattan Ottershaw game is 2-1 for Grattan over Ottershaw, and they're playing the fourth end. Ottershaw has last rock. Malay Robichaud game is it's a 1-1. They're playing the fourth end. And the Dacey McDougall game is 1-0 playing the fourth end.
If you have a chance, folks, watch Inside the AUS for a look at what makes Atlantic University sports the ultimate student-athlete experience. Inside the AUS is available to Vibe customers in Atlantic Canada on Channel 1, Vibe TV 1, powered by Bell Alliance. And so we've got a tight one here.
We certainly do.
Well, I think across the board, as you said, you gave the scores all out. There's
2 points, the biggest lead
Yeah.
anybody has. That's
getting down the crunch time
it's
here now.
crunch time.
Because after this, there's one more round for these guys.
That's right.
So we'll be broadcasting. Our next broadcast will be at 5:30 this evening. And then, and that's in women's play. There'll be a few men's matches going on there. And then at 9 o'clock tonight will be the final draw for in the round robin portion of this. And then that's when the committee gets together. And
They get out their calculators to see who the winners are in the draw to the button, because that's probably will decide a couple teams whether they make it or not.
well, and it's interesting. We sort of commented on that before this match got underway, because we were saying like there was one that, gee, it was like, you know, in the 8.
Yeah.
It was in the, and you know, I don't know if teams don't put a lot of stock in it or what, because
Oh, no,
like I said to you, I said, well, are they allowed to sweep those stones or whatever? I said, how can you be that far away from a draw? And you go, no, Keith, they can sweep. And I go, how can you be like, that's like,
But what you must remember now is they come
Let's-
out on the new ice.
Yeah.
The ice has just been pebbled, scraped, and they have 2 practice shots.
so
and then
each
they-
player has 2 practice shots?
Oh, no, only one player. They name a player.
Oh, they name a player.
One player per team,
Yes.
and they have 2
Two.
practice shots,
And then
and then they throw the one that they
the
measure.
count. Okay. But they had 2 practice.
Yeah.
But anyway.
did.
So they'll
So-
take. No, so these teams will play. Had played 5 games. So what do? Take their best 4.
They take the best 4.
Okay.
That's
Total.
the total. And whoever has the smallest number.
They can. Now, do they keep track of the, like, if we go downstairs, will there be track of the distance, or is that sort of kept QT until the end?
No, I don't think it's kept on the QT. Normally they post that. I didn't see it downstairs.
No,
so
I
before
wasn't
came up-
looking for. I was just looking for wins and losses. Now, in curling, here's another question I have for you. I noticed on the score, the master scoreboard, they just have wins and losses. So they really don't care about how much you won by.
That's correct.
Now, that's interesting. And the reason I say that is in other sports, they keep track of, like, well, goals for, points against. But in curling, they don't, not so much.
Right, but those sports are mainly time sports, right? Where you're playing time, like 3 periods in hockey, 9 innings in ball.
Well-
Curling, you quit if you don't finish the game.
Yeah.
So-
And that probably would instill people to keep playing if that was the case
Oh,
that we
yes,
used,
absolutely.
right? Because I know, like in volleyball, well, we have matches won, matches lost. There's no time in that, but
That's true.
they do more for games won than lost. And anyway,
So
it
in
just
volleyball, they keep track of your points for and points against?
well, we do it when, which I never really agreed with, like especially when you go to provincials and you're playing in like a round robin by only 2 games. So what was happening is some teams that were, that knew they were going to go through, they put their second line on.
Right.
And the points would get racked up against the team that that they played their first line against us.
Right.
And you lose out. So I was one of the ones I said, listen, I don't mind losing, but I really hate losing to say that team was 2 points better than us.
Right.
Like, because you went points for and against. Like, let's decide it on the court. So from then, all provincials were like when you played a match. So
Right.
whoever won the match, 2 games to 1 or
advance,
whatever.
right.
Yeah. And I said, well, that's just fair. You trained all season, and you want to find out obviously who the best is, and you can't use the same format like in a monthly tournament that you would use in provincial play. And I gave the example, and they go, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And I go, yeah. It adds sometimes a little bit more to the tournament from a time factor, but you create the true.
Well, it's a fair
Yeah.
way to resolve who the winner is, right?
And that's what I was thinking last night. I said, gee, they don't post if you won 7-3 or 6-4 or 5-1. And I said, well, I guess points, as long as you won, a win is a win.
That's right.
Doesn't matter if it's by 10 or by 1, because like you said, if you have teams that, sometimes they shake hands after 5 ends if they're losing 8-1.
They're
But
losing 8-1 and don't have much chance of coming back. They
Yeah.
shake and save themselves for the next game,
Yeah.
right?
so that's ergo we have closest to the button.
And they throw the closest to the button to decide who has last rock to start the game.
Okay, so that's not a flip a coin anymore in the.
Nope, that's what the draw to the button.
Oh, okay.
The draw to the button decide to determine who has last rock.
Okay. Now, how's it decided on Yellowstone, Redstone?
I believe, I'm not sure about this spiel, but most spiels it's based on the draw. Team on the top, when you look at the draw schedule,
right.
the team on the top of the schedule would have the red rocks and the team
Okay.
on the bottom.
And you try to obviously
And
be
they
fair
try,
about that.
when they make the draw, they try and split it up so you get half your games are
Mhm.
red, half yellow.
Okay. All these things that keep me awake at night.
All important considerations.
Well, the Thompson strategy is continuing on in this end.
Yeah.
It has worked well for them in the first 3, so why change it now? Don't change it now.
Yeah, they played their first rock right in. They had a good first stomp, put it right on the button. So keep the play in the rings and minimize the guards. Now the Jones team has managed to get a corner guard up, so will give them a little something to hide behind if they can get a chance to use it. With this hit and roll out, they're going to get a chance to use their corner here.
I was doing some research on the new CEO of the Canadian Curling Association, Catherine Henderson. And Catherine took over her position in April 2016 after a stint as Senior Vice President of Marketing and Revenue for the 2015 Pan Am Games. And one of the new things, I'd just like to get your comment on this. They're talking about what can we expect to see at future events, curling events, and she made a comment. She goes, "You're going to see more festival-like feeling. We're working on what I would like to call an improved sport presentation as we look at more entertainment products. We've also added a bit of a format change recently to the Tim Hortons Brier and the Scotties Tournament of Hearts, called Wildcard Fridays, which will let the top 2 teams on the Canadian team ranking system who didn't qualify through their province to do a sudden death 1-game competition on a Friday night." So I wonder, will that take place this year, or will that be incorporated in 2019?
I think it starts in 2018.
2018.
Yeah, it's the new format, so for the Brier.
Yeah, that was just, I brought that out because they had the calendar of events, what's happening across the country with the different championships. And I said, all right. Because this is the first year, remember, we would have teams that would go that they
Playing relegation.
play relegation.
And
They didn't want that.
no, someone went home before the spiel started.
Yeah, that's
Which
not,
is,
at least sort of a bad taste.
yeah.
So now it's going to be split up into two 7-team
sections.
pools.
Yeah. And we have a Team Canada now. So
Yes.
Red Gushu will be Team Canada this year.
So that's where it gives an opportunity like
for someone like
Skeins
That's right.
to,
Come out of Newfoundland.
yeah. Well, it is very challenging, and we've had this discussion. I guess that's where the Travelers program comes in. That because you do have these upper echelon. Well, I mean, they're professionals.
That's
like,
right.
I mean, yes, these guys here are making some bucks if you win the event, but you have other fellows that, I mean, that's their
bread and butter.
That's their
right.
bread and butter.
That's right. And they're extremely good. But
Right? And it's like us, if Canada being hockey, it's like you play against the NHL guys with your senior guys that you play with. Is that really a fair
Yeah,
level?
that's right.
Like, but that's what the Briar is now.
that's
I mean,
right.
you still have teams like, say from, here in Nova Scotia and a few other spots across the country that, but the thing is, they do compete. Like, they're not that far off.
No, they're not far off, and they're contenders.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like, even like the Mike Kennedy team last year, I mean, they were so close in so many
right.
games.
yeah.
Their record didn't indicate how well they did really play well. And they took that to the senior nationals where they were a top place team and just a couple of inopportune shots at the wrong time, but they came out with a bronze medal, but they could have easily been in the championship final too.
Oh yeah, they could have. It wasn't for one. They had one bad end all
Yeah.
weekend, and that cost them a gold medal. Actually,
Well, and that Wade Blanchard was in your chair yesterday, and Wade was up there, and he's, Mike's team, in his view, was the best team up there all
Right.
week.
They dominate.
Yeah.
They did dominate.
So it's great to see here, but we have a nice, a pretty clean house down there, Bill.
Yeah, well, Scott got a nice roll in
Thompson's,
there.
yeah, Thompson's doing what they need to do here.
Just have to be careful trying to remove this red rock. There's a yellow one back there, but
Yeah,
so they
it's
get
all
rid
right.
of that too. So. Scott's probably going to try and. This is last shot, right? Another blank coming up, Keith.
They're moving right along here, though.
They are. That's a pretty clean game, so
Yeah.
it's when you start junking it up that it starts to slow down.
Mhm.
A little
Gotta-
more thinking required.
That's right. Yeah. Little thought process here. Okay. Looking at all the different angles. There's my shot. Just keeping it clean, make sure it doesn't pick up anything. So it's going to stay 2-0 for Thompson. Jones will retain hammer. And I guess we're going in the fifth inning.
We are.
Where has the time gone? And what's happening around the rink now?
Well, the Stevens Blanchard game, they haven't posted the fourth end yet, so they're only showing a 2-0 lead for Stevens over Blanchard. But that's only after 3. They're actually playing the 5th right now. Just started the 5th.
I'll note
I
that.
can note that
Yeah.
for the organizing committee.
Yeah.
Skeins picked up a steal of 3 in the 4th end to take what would be a commanding 4-0 lead after 4 ends.
Over Thompson.
Over Thompson, that's right. Audeshaw scored a 2 in the 4th end to go up 3-2 over Grattan. They're playing in the 5th. Robichaud picked up a 2 in the 4th end to go up 3-1 over Malay. They're playing in the 5th end right now.
And Jeremy is one of the co-chairs of this event.
He is.
He's playing in it, and his wife is playing in it,
That's right.
and his father is coming up in the gondola tonight to give his thoughts.
Yep. And he's a well-versed man in the curling circles. He's from Moncton. Yeah, we got one game, Dacey and McDougall, and Dacey stole one in the fourth end to go up 2-0 after 4. So all very low-scoring games, other than the Skeens Thompson game.
One of our major sponsors here is the World Financial Group. Knowledge is power, and at the World Financial Group, it's determined to provide people throughout North America with financial education that empowers them to have a better future. The World Financial Group. And they're very involved with curling.
They certainly are.
Yeah, it's great to have a sponsor such as them.
So it looks like they're going to mix it up a little bit this end. Scott Jones is coming in with his leads last rock. Nice shot.
And you want to get rocks in play.
Yep.
Enough of this. New game plan. Well, and we mentioned that earlier, how it is a little different when you're only playing 8 ends to 10,
That's right.
right?
This is the 6th end. There's not a lot of time
No.
left now. So right now, Scott Jones is saying, well, I guess, should have 2 hammers to 1 with the last 3 ends. So
There's the man up in the house here, Mike Buckley.
our manager.
It's amazing what he can do with one arm. Can we tell the folks at home how we broke the wrist?
No.
I heard there was a ladder involved. I heard there was a ladder.
But let's not go there.
Let's not go there.
That's the story I heard too, Keith.
I guess
don't know the
it's a
truth to
little.
it, but
I guess it's a little fresh still. It's a little fresh. Well, that reminds me. A buddy of mine, Wayne Manuel, who was an outstanding senior softball player, right? And back in the day when the St. John Alpines and the Fredericton Diplomats and
Right.
and I mean Tracy had a lot of good softball teams around. But Manny, even if the Alpines lost out to the Fredericton boys would pick him up, take him to nationals because he was a good little shortstop, second baseman, had a good bat, smart player. So anyway, he would never slide into a base. His philosophy was, if you can't make it stand up, don't bother going. Okay, that's the Wayne Manuel strategy. So anyway, fast forwarded many years later, after having children and so on and so forth. He's a school teacher, so come summertime, there's a big softball championships going on in St. John. So I go to watch it, and of course all the old boys are there, Dark Hartley and Dave Fortune and all the guys, watching. And they go, "Have you seen Manny?" I went, "No, I haven't seen him too much." I said, "Why?" He goes, "Oh, I think he busted his ankle." And I go, "What?" I said, "Do what?" "Sliding in the second."
So ooh.
I go, "Okay, first of all, what was he playing?" Because he would never play slow pitch. I mean,
Right.
that was out of his realm of.
Too low for him.
Yeah, too.
Yeah.
I mean, and he go, "Oh no, they're playing slow pitch," and he was playing because the boys finally outquit Spam, egged him. "Come on, man,
Yeah.
come on, play." So he finally did say, "Oh yeah, break up the week and go out and play." Well, he rounds first base. I go second, and all of a sudden you see the throw. He didn't know what to do because he never slid me. He goes, "I have to slide him." Well, he went to jam the foot down. Well, gee, he
went
jammed
right
it
over
down
it?
right over on it.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, the boys were just having a roar. Out of that, yeah. Man, he busted his ankle. Sliding in the second and slow pitch. Oh, yeah, he could live that one down. It's like, so obviously something happened to Mr. Buckley here that we can't
Yeah, well, he
fully disclose. Has it been recent?
It was about 3 weeks ago, I think.
Okay. Here we are looking for a hit and a little roll in behind, and stays right there, but it gets
Still
rid
a
of
good
it.
shot, yep.
Yep.
Jones' team is having a little trouble generating. much
Yeah, I
offense
mean
here.
they wanted rocks in there, but the only problem is it's yellow rocks that are in
Well,
there.
The Thompson team's playing well, so
Yeah.
that makes it tough.
And it's interesting like that because you get like one guy shooting well, then all of a sudden it becomes infectious, right?
That's right. Well, early in the Thompson
Yeah.
team was, till he made that shot, really in the
Yeah.
third end, right? What was there? It was a big shot.
Looking for a little bit. He gets a little roll, but
Just a
still
bit.
exposed there.
Well, they're on and off this one. They should be close.
Oh,
Very nice shot.
yeah. Oh, no.
So now there's no inside roll, so there's no roll under cover for
Brennan
Tim
is.
Jones.
And Thompson on the other side is looking at a whole bunch of Newfoundland rocks on our sheet 7. He's trying
Yeah,
to draw
that's
in.
just his first rocks.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, he's drawing in there. He's trying to freeze it. Nice
Yeah,
shot.
very
Nice
nice
shot
shot,
by
yeah.
Stewart. So he's froze to the Newfoundland rock in the 4. So it's going to be obviously hard to get that one out.
Yeah, he's probably just going to follow him down and sit on top of him, another freeze, which is a tough shot. That's
Here we are back here with final shot for the mate.
that's Jacob
Jenna.
Brennan. He's going to peel off the. He's probably going to run that back in. He's probably trying to run that back in, the center line guard back, and get rid of one or two of those other yellows. Probably just one.
He hits it on the right side. They have a lot of.
It's going to be close there.
Oh, swings
Still
back in.
Mission accomplished, though. It's opened up now,
Yeah.
so it's Yellowstone's exposed. So Kendall's throwing up a guard with his first one here.
He's looking for. Let's steal some more.
Yeah.
That's how he scored his points so far, and
I don't think
on the
he's had,
second and third.
I don't think he's had last rock yet this game.
No. That'd be quite something, wouldn't it?
Yeah. You know you're playing well if you can get through the game without having last rock and win.
Yeah, and win.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I guess you're gonna. If you don't have last rock, you're gonna. Well, they have some scores posted for the Stevens-Blanchard game. Blanchard scored 2 in the 5th. That gives Stevens a 3-2 lead after 5.
Jones and Brandon having a discussion here. As we said, like we're into the 6th end.
Yeah,
And you've got the decision has been made. He wants a hit and roll in behind that.
yellow rock on the
Yeah.
wings. Yeah. So they should be close. Get the roll. Not much of a roll.
Final shot here for Thompson. He'll probably want
Yeah, you want to hit and roll behind that center line guard. For Scott Jones to draw for a single against a couple yellows.
He's been curling very, very well this afternoon.
Yes, extremely well.
Shot is off. On his way. Trying to hold that line. He wants that inside a bit there. So he gets the roll.
That's a pretty good shot.
Yep. Behind lots of cover.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a hole there between those red rocks, but Scott's not even looking at that. He's going to draw for a single. He's got to score here. Can't afford another steal.
Shot here of the 6th end. Thompson up 2 over Jones. And Jones is looking to come in to get his single. And listen, it's not a gimme.
No, this is definitely not a gimme.
Because that's how this all started a while ago. It was on a light draw.
That's right. Sweepers aren't touching it, so it looks like he's got lost, but he's getting pretty close to that center guard.
Starting to bite in. He could rack up against that.
Yeah, it's not going to be good if he hits that guard. Well, they got it in for number 2, so it'll be another steal of 1.
Thompson.
Thompson has a 3-point lead.
And Jones is not happy with that result.
No. And it looked like he had good weight on
Yeah.
that rock, too.
So at the end of 6, Thompson is up 3-0 over Jones. Jones has a record of 2-1. Thompson is at 1-2. So as we said earlier, how important you don't want to get that third loss, and it still is going to be tough with 2. But we don't know the measurements.
No, we don't. know
We'll
the
have our
button
research
numbers.
committee
Yeah, we'll have
on
to
that.
get through those after
Yeah.
this draw.
Oh, Buckley, I think Buckley must like us. He put the heat on up here.
Threw another log on the fire for us. Yeah.
Nice. I can take off a layer. There. Huh. Well, it was fine. We were getting spoiled because by doing games here, and then we did, like I said, the games. Scotty's up in the Miramichi, nice. You know, gee, you could have your golf shirt on, nice, relaxed. And then we did the senior nationals up in Fredericton with Willie Reed. So of course I showed up, dress pants and shoes. And I walk in and said, okay, so where are we all set up at? They go, right above the ice, right there.
Right there.
Okay, I'll be back. They go, where are you going? I said, I'm going to the hotel. I got to change. New wardrobe change.
Wardrobe change, yeah.
Warm, long underwear, warm socks, winter boots on.
Well, I was talking to Grant Ottershaw earlier today, and he was telling me that he played on the Mike Kennedy team in that event, and he said that was the best ice he's ever played on.
Yeah.
And he's played he's got a lot of Briars under his belt, so he's played in a lot of big events.
It was a great week, and I mean, kudos to the city of Fredericton, and Bobby Dupuis, obviously a sports tourism guy up there, and Wayne Talon obviously was a spearhead behind that.
Big driver for the event.
But the cool thing that they did is they left the ice in, and they had a kids event.
That's right.
I think back-to-back weekends
Yep.
they had different ones going on. So, you know, obviously great for sports tourism, but a great opportunity for kids to actually have a chance to play
On arena ice.
on arena ice.
That's right.
And then a nice salute to the volunteers is I think the Capital Winter Club had their last games of the season there.
Right.
So, you know, just it's excellent you can do something like that, you know, with one of your facilities to shut it down for like, well, it's 3 weeks.
3 weeks. That's
Jeez.
a lot of time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because, you know, the ones here, I mean, the closest one that would rival that, obviously Harbor Station or the Q-Plex, and they're just going all the time.
That's right.
You know, there's no way we could, you know.
Takes 3 weeks out of their schedule.
But it was at a good part of the season.
Right.
Right? Hockey was sort of, you know,
Finished.
done.
Yeah.
And they did it, but just an excellent venue, perfect size for events like that. And so, yeah, it was a lot of fun. Was it just a lot of good curling there that week. And we're into the 7th in here. There's another shot right on. And Thompson's sitting 2. Boom.
But Scott Jones has a corner guard, and that's what he wants. He's got something to try and hide behind. So probably just going to play a little tap back on that yellow rock and see if he can get under that corner guard at the same time.
It's Brian King.
So they're on this early. Looks like he's on the corner guard.
Yeah.
Just going to take it.
But?
Well, but the problem with this shot is it took his corner guard out of place. So now the rings are going to be wide open.
And that's one of the things on the Rachel Holman's team. One of the things that they have done or perfected, not to say all the way, but the little tick of the guard.
That's
Because
right.
you can hit that guard as long as you don't take it out of play.
That's right.
Right?
You keep it in play.
Is that what you call it, a tick, or what's
Tick
the
shot, yeah, they
it's
call
a
it the tick
Okay.
shot. They used to call it the Weagle tick shot.
The
That
we-
was-
the Weagle, yeah, it was her.
That was her. So, but that's pretty common now. She was the one that first was really good at it. But
Yeah.
most teams play that now in the high, the upper level curling,
Yeah. So let's just move it a little bit.
and it makes a tremendous difference if you can get that rock off the center line early. It keeps it wide open, and the wide open games are much easier. Wide open ends much easier for the team trying to stay ahead.
Well, as you've seen here, when Thompson, had that two lead there, his game plan was, okay, let's just keep her clean.
Right.
And they have been putting the pressure on Jones ever since.
That's right. And they've been curling well, they've been executing, right? So doesn't matter what strategy you have, if you don't execute, it's not going to work.
Well, strategy can become tragedy real quick.
Very good. I like that saying. That's good. But all the Jones team needs is one miss and start applying some pressure. They can score a deuce here and steal one in the eighth. They can go an extra end.
Now there's some decision making going on here. Get over there.
Well,
How are we going to do it? This end has been a fast end. But like you said, when there's not a lot of rocks in play,
right.
the decision making is obviously a lot quicker.
Decision making's quicker, and we're throwing hits, so the hits are quicker than the draws. So it all equates to a quicker end. So got Jamie playing the hit and roll. He's going to try and hit that rock in the 8-foot and roll in front of the yellow rock in the 12-foot.
The guys, I just want to say the other commentators are jealous of you because they say, oh, Bill's doing it. He's got a voice. He has that voice for
TV, yeah, voice for radio.
Voice for radio.
No one can see me.
Well, he got rid of
Yeah, he got rid of
two
that.
of them.
But the problem is he's left them a wide open
yeah.
hit. I'm not sure how far the yellow one's off the back of the rings, if they can jam it back there. Joe brings some help here, I think, from the Thompson team.
They haven't been getting much of it.
No, they haven't at all.
What's this little tick? Like a nice shot.
It's a good shot.
Be sure to follow TV1 Atlantic on social media. You can join the conversation at TV1_Atlantic on Twitter and Instagram. And on Facebook, it's TV1 Atlantic, Vibe TV1, powered by Bell Alliant. Keith Rains, Bill Gates here. 7th end action at the Jim Sullivan Classic here in Thistle, St. Andrews in St. John, New Brunswick. We got a 3-0 game, and the Thompson team is leading the Jones 3-0, and Thompson has not had hammer in 7 ends.
I'm quite happy to be that way.
Yeah, he's stolen points in the first, or the second, the third, and the 6th end. Brennan coming in. He's trying to get in behind there.
He's trying to draw around that one in the rings. That's a very tough shot with the ring or rock in the 8-foot, trying to hide behind it. So doesn't leave a lot of room for the curling behind. Did a good job of it. Just trying to make the Thompson team have a difficult shot. Try and get a miss out of them. This looks pretty good.
Look at that. I really had to lay a brush to it. Nice shot. Sweepers appreciate that too.
They
Sometimes
do.
it's, oh, thanks.
Sweeper's delight, we call it.
Yeah.
These guys be playing 3 games today, so they'll be doing a lot of sweeping.
Well, yeah.
Now, mind you, they're only 8 end games as opposed to the 10 end games they play in provincial play downs.
Well, and that's like I said earlier, talking to the Malay women's team there. I mean, I think they got 6 teams going to the Scotties anyhow provincially. Right. So they're having this seeding tournament in St. Andrews. But she goes, really, the real reason for us to go is to play 10 end games.
Yeah, get in
you
shape.
know, get just, you know, the mindset, the body. Get used to that because it is, you know, a lot of these tournaments that they go into, they're all 8 enders, right? So, because I asked them, I said, "What? Do you have any other events coming up before your championships?" Because they're January 3rd to 7th in Moncton, and they mentioned the St. Andrews one. And so they said it's a seeding tournament. We have to play against all the teams anyhow.
Right.
When we go, but she goes, the thing is. To get ready to play in 10 ends. So, get the first shot for Jones here in the 7th. They're down 3-0 here. They've got to generate.
Yeah, and Scott's going to try and weld one on the back. It's in the back 4 foot.
So you want to freeze it right to that one?
Yeah,
Is
he
that
wants
the
to.
plan?
Yeah. He's got a good line.
Yeah. Nice shot.
Just doesn't want to bump it too far.
Nope.
That's
Good.
a good shot.
Okay, Skip. What you doing here?
Blasting that out of there. He's going to throw some weight and try and hit it on the center line side. It should go. I don't think he can actually pot it because the yellow rock and the top 8 foot sort of in the way to prevent that.
So this is the last shot for Thompson here in N7. And he wouldn't mind giving up a point and have hammer in the 8th. Of course, it would ruin the record.
Right.
Of going 7 ends with, you know.
Everybody would like to be 2 up coming home with the hammer.
Yeah.
That's a good position to be in. Definitely control.
Got it.
Yeah.
Nice. And he did what he wanted to do.
Right.
So now I guess we want to get that out, keep hammer.
I don't know if you want to.
No, what do you wanna do?
You want to take 3 or steal 2. So
It's been tough to get one.
It's tough for him to get 1. So I'm not liking his odds too good right now. He's playing a hit, so he's probably playing for the blank. Yeah, he's not happy. He got
No.
his point.
Got his point. You can always tell by the body reaction, right?
Yeah.
You sort of kicked at the ice there. You go, I don't think that's what he wants. But he got his point, so it's now 3-1 Thompson, and going into the 8th end, and Thompson, they have to obviously have a meeting because they're not used to going. We get the hammer here. What do we do?
Yeah. Well, you're going to see Team Jones throw up some guards, centerline guards, and I would say Team Thompson's going to try and the tick shot you mentioned earlier. That would be what I suspect we're going to see if the shots are made, the first shot's made.
I think we're all done on sheet 8, are we?
Yeah, they were finished a few minutes ago. I didn't see what happened. That's
Obviously a lot.
someone got a large end, I would say.
Stevens was ahead.
Yeah, they were only up 3-2, so
Yeah.
I'm not sure what transpired in the 6th end.
And here at 7, Skanes is up 5-2 over Thompson.
Yeah, they've
And
got control of that game.
Grattan's up 5-3 over Odishaw in the 7th.
Yeah, Grattan got a 3 in the 5th or the 6th end, pardon me. To take a 2-point lead.
And Robichaw's up 3-2 on Malay. And what's going on down the far side there, big guy? I think it looks like a lot to a little.
It looks like a lot to nothing. It looks 5-0 for Dacey over McDougall playing the 6th end. There's a couple of Dacey rocks in play right now.
Where's Dacey from?
He's from Halifax, Mayflower.
So is McDougall's. Is he from?
Yep.
Okay.
Dacey's a past Brier champion
Ooh. Okay.
from Nova Scotia, representing Nova Scotia. I think he was a Brier semifinalist, or lost in the final to Brier for Saskatchewan years ago, too.
Well, we're into our final end. And our game's been moving on really pretty quick. We're ahead of.
Yeah, we're almost a full end ahead of.
Yeah.
Thompson's going to remove his own rock. Doesn't want anything out there in front. Can't hit the opposition's rock, but you can hit your own. So Brian's going to try and get another guard up, a long one, just over the hog line is what they'll want on this one. And this is a very difficult shot, Keith. It is, to get it just over
Just
the hog
over.
line, but not hog it. That's a very difficult shot.
Well, look, it's only a matter of a footer.
Right, and if he comes in
Too far.
too far, they have an easier double on the
Yeah.
guard, so that's why you want to have them spaced as far apart as you can.
So you hear, maybe it's official now that the 5 guard is coming in soon. Have you heard that?
No, not
Have
officially.
you heard from your people yet, or
No, but it's
or just people talking about it?
well, they play it on the World Curling Tour a lot. You know, when you look at the slam events, are all 5 rock.
Oh, they are.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm a flicker. You see,
Yeah,
I'm
no, and
watching a
it's-
bit of it. I'm over to something else. So
But that really changes the game, right? So it's
Yeah.
it's you can generate a lot of points. Like scoring 3 in the 8th end now is not
Impossible.
not that unusual anymore.
okay.
So another good shot by Brian, just to get that over the hog line. Just
Yeah.
so yeah, that's going to be quite a. I think they really wait for the World Curling Association to take the lead because it's.
So is that going to happen like maybe by 2019? Is
Yeah, that
sort
could.
of-
It could, and they could be going down to 8-end games too. That's the other thing they've been talking about.
Well, that would make it better from a viewer.
From a viewer perspective, and that's part of it. That's why they went to the 8-end games for the slams is TV time. It's a quicker game.
Yeah.
2
Well,
hour game instead of 2.5
Well,
hours.
it's just like when I watch tennis. Nothing against the Grand Slams. 5 sets. Like it goes forever. 3 settings.
right.
And I'd be interested to see the guys, if you can win it in 3, how many of them win it in 5?
5, right.
So it's just like, but I know for their other events they do best of 3s because geez they just couldn't. You couldn't.
Right.
The body could not handle
it.
playing tournaments all the time best of 5s. So I think it's. Is he coming in now? Think it's time to come in?
No, not yet.
Not yet?
Not yet. No.
Okay, boss.
Well, he's got to steal 2 points here, so he's got to have some guards. He's got to have some guards to hide behind.
It's not me.
And again, this rock, they want to place it perfectly. Too tight to the other one will leave an opportunity for a double peel on the guards. So that's a good shot.
Oh, got her.
That was a very good shot.
Yeah. Left the guard up there, so.
So Scott's going to hide behind that. The only problem is it's guarding the 12-foot, so. That's a good shot by Jamie Burnett. So they're trying to decide whether to peel that corner guard and try and run it into one of the red rocks at the back of the rings, or to play the wide open hit on the back one. That's the decision now.
Hit there. So can you hit there and go over to there?
No, you can't hit the red behind the yellow, I don't think, with any speed.
So Jones got his 2 sitting there, and the problem is Thompson has last rock.
Right. That's a
this
big
would
problem.
be this would have been set up all right if Jones had last rock.
So that's a good shot because it is now short rock. So Jones is going to be forced to, well, not necessarily. I was going to say he's going to be forced to do something with that. But he has 2 rocks left. Needs to score both. So probably a freeze is probably what we'll see here. Stuart Thompson scored 1 in the 7th end to make that down 5-3 to Skanes. That's after 7. Way and Robichaud are all tied. Lay stole 1 in the 6th end, a 3-3 tie. Shot took 1 in the 7th. They're down 5-4 to Grattan. Shot by Scott.
Okay, I'll move it over an inch. No, I don't like it there. It's okay, I like that.
Yeah, gotta blast that out of there. Try and stick a shooter if you can. Just
make it more difficult.
Yeah, force Scott Jones's hand to play a shooter.
First shot for Thompson in this last 8th end.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah. And here is the last stone for Mr. Jones.
Yes, and he's got to move that yellow rock back just a bit, so his red rock at the top of the ring.
He's got to, and he's got to stick it.
Right. So just a soft, he probably wants to tap that about 6-8 inches. No more to get that. So he's sitting 1 and 2. This is early Carolyn.
Yeah. Biting in, isn't going to make it. Yep. Good sweeping.
He's got to move the yellow though. He's got enough. The over curl. He got that going. Yeah, good weight,
And it's
actually.
over. So it finishes off as a 4-1 game for Thompson and keeps them alive. And they'll move to a record of 2 and 2. And Jones will be 2 and 2. So why don't we just give one more quick update on the scores before we sign off?
Okay. Skanes is up 5-3 on Thompson. They're playing the 8th end, and Skanes has last rock. The rings are, we got 1 rock. Thompson has 1 on the button, and that's the only rock in play. In the Ottershaw Grattan game, they're down to skip rocks in the 8th end. Ottershaw is down 1. It's 5-4 for Grattan right now. And Grattan is sitting 1 on the 4-foot, nothing else in play. Moy Robichaud game, they're playing the 7th end. They're all tied at 3. And Robichaud has the hammer. The Dougal-Dacey game, the score appears to be 5-0, but they're playing the 7th end. Not sure what happened in the 6th. Score hasn't been posted. So.
I think they're in the 7th end now.
Yeah, they are in the 7th
Yeah.
end, yeah. They haven't posted the 6th end.
Okay,
So.
yeah. Well, and tonight at 5:30, we have all 8 sheets in action. Our featured game will be Shelley Graham taking on Colleen Pickney. That will be our marquee one, but we will be keeping you obviously posted on all the other action that is happening here at Thistle St. Andrews at the 6th annual Jim Sullivan Curling Classic. So we thank you for tuning in to watch and listen to us here this afternoon. Again, we'll be at 5:30 and then again at 9 o'clock tonight. Playoffs in both men's and women's will go tomorrow at 8:30, semis at noon, championship at 3. So on behalf of
Bill Gates.
Keith Rains signing off from Thistle St. Andrews.